Friends, I'm in desperate need of a fancy purse. Maybe even what you might call an evening bag. Not something for everyday use, something small-ish that can hold the basics: phone, wallet, lip stuff, perhaps a feminine hygiene product. Small. I've been desiring something a little more far out, intergalactic, not of the ordinary, which is why I haven't just purchased something, because I want it to be customized to my needs. And also, I just like to make stuff. I have made bags before. I've made some enormous tote bags, and I made this purse several years ago, which I loved very much. And we're going to be doing a similar shape to that today, because I do like that shape, but smaller, a little more refined, tassel instead of pom-pom. I'm obsessed with tassels and pom-pom, so there has to be one or the other, if not both. But this time, single tassel. Do you have a hint about my tassel obsession? This is not the first giant tassel wall hanging I've made, and I'm about to make another one, and I can't wait to show you that process too. So tactile. This is my inspo. Really like the shape. I have never done a kiss clasp purse. I got the sew-in type rather than the glue-in type because I want it to be sturdy. Unlike some of the bags I've used before, I don't want a thing you have to carry like this, like a little handle. I don't want a clutch. I want a crossbody evening bag. I did use this purse that I made for several years until COVID lockdown. And then I became a fanny pack girly. And I now have a variety of fanny packs. I have my hiking fanny pack. I have a couple of fancy fanny packs. In my daily life, I've just leveled up to a standard crossbody bag that I did not make. It's like my utility bag. But I needed an option to express my obsession with iridescents and rhinestones. And I wanted it to look vintage yet futuristic. And I'm really pumped to share the process with you. If you're new here, my name is Genevieve. I love making stuff. All kinds of things. I have many passions. But what I like even more is talking about creativity and encouraging others to be creative even when they think they're not creative. And sometimes just watching the process is helpful, because I'm going to run into some problems and I'm just going to show that. It'll be vulnerable. It's not a tutorial video. I'm just walking you through my creative process to make a far out purse that is to my heart's desire. I hope you find it interesting. Now, it looks like I'm in a living room. This is actually where I work. This is my work studio where I have my bread and butter job. I do aesthetics, beauty services, and tattoo work. And this is the waiting room. This is where my clients wait. All of these businesses surrounding me were in an apartment complex that was converted into a commercial zoned space. So I technically am in an apartment. However, I do not live here. I work here, but I've made it my own with many creative projects. I like to come here to work on stuff when I can, and not when I have a bunch of clients coming in, although sometimes I squeeze it in between. There's no dog hair here. There's no dogs barking here. There's more space. I can use the floor better. I have a fold-out table I'm going to use today. I'm going to put my sewing machine on it. That's just some background info. I'm going to be setting up in my cozy plant corner today. And I'm going to use my folding crafting table, which is something I highly recommend. You can fold it up. Mine is stored behind a couch, and I can pull it out whenever I just need a clean surface, and I can decide where it's going to go. What window do I want to work next to? It's always cleared off. There's no stacks and piles. It's ready to go. It looks like I'm a clean person when I get it out, and it makes my brain feel clean. I do have other art desks for creative projects that there's some stacks and piles. I'm going to be real. And I don't really want to like squeegee off a clean spot for my sewing machine. So I'm going to set up my table. I have made some progress at this point in time. Today's going to be sewing day, but let me catch you up on all the steps I've taken before now. I'm really pleased with this eye-shaped bead. Looks like it's been laser cut. It's not quite exactly an eye, but I am a fan of putting eyes on things. This is a fanny pack I made many years ago that I loved. I love the eye on it. And I used some of those same eyes on this customized jean jacket. And then in addition to that, I like putting eyes in paintings. I don't have an explanation. In high school, that was my number one doodle on the side of my homework was eyes. So it continues. And I wanted a focal piece like that on this purse. I wanted to find some kind of faux leather fabric for this project, and I found this awesome pressed cork on Etsy that has all these cool little metallic rainbow bits. It was sold as something you could use for wallets or purses, so I thought I'd give it a try. It has a nice felt back, and I'm curious what it'll be like to sew with. I love it. And my dog Frida does not love that I'm petting it instead of her. Usually when I'm starting a project like this, I like to play around with what I want to do. It's kind of my way of a sketchbook. It's just practicing with the pieces and seeing where they go. There's my little focal bead, and I'm testing it out. I usually trace with my fingers. I don't know. It's my little way of imagining what needs to happen. I have 2 8x10 sheets of this cork fabric to work with. I had not a lot of time this day to make my pattern, so that's why I'm on the floor in my work clothes, but I'm just tracing out how much space I think I'll need. It's just sort of winging it. I'm using an envelope as my straight edge here and using the clasp at the top to make an assessment. Gave it a 1/4 inch seam allowance, marked it in chalk on the back of the felt with some notches for reference. Cut out the same piece with 2 pieces, matching it, seeing how I like it with the blue stripe cotton lining and the rainbow. This fabric is awesome. That's 2 pieces stuck together there. So now I have the front and back of my purse, 2 pieces of lining, and my pattern piece. Maybe I'll use it again. It was a good day outside to do some crafting with my doggies in the sunshine. I just sewed on all the rhinestones with some chalk marking, just to kind of give me a pretty good idea. Mostly they're in the right place. It was a good day, a good crafting day outside. And I love how this turned out. I'm super excited. These stones are so beautiful. I love this focal bead. I'm really looking forward to sewing this all together. I definitely think it's going to work with the clasp. This was fun to plan out and imagine. Before I joined the back and the front, these keep looking like Darth Vader helmets. They won't once it's a purse, but for now. There's going to be a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so this will be a little more snug. I'm truly obsessed with this iridescence. But I wanted to have this really beautiful tassel. The tassels came like so. I love the rainbow quality. Didn't love the yellow. There's 2 shades of yellow. I also thought this was a little limpy to go with this bold bag. So what I did, because I'm a maximalist, I combined 3 tassels and I changed out the yellow by covering it up with this magenta fuchsia embroidery floss. So I tightly wound them. And then I wanted this to be really sturdy where it's going to hang. Plus, there were 3 loops at the top that needed to be merged in some way. So now here's my new and improved mega tassel, which I think I might make it shorter. I might make it like so. We'll see. We'll see. I can do that last. This whole loop is going to be sewn into the seam like so. I do want it to have some dangle, swish, dangle and swish. But now I can sew it into my magical bag. Let's get started. This tassel actually does have a good side and a bad side, just an uglier side, which isn't bad. Just, little snags, a little lumpier. So because this purse only has one front, I'm going to put the good side in the front. It's a chop chop sound going through this cork fabric. My little brother's sewing machine is handling it. I love you, sewing machine. I love you. I love you so much. The moment of truth. I'm going to turn it right sides out. Oh, God, it's so stressful. I only have these 2 pieces of this fabric, so so far so good. I am going to trim the seam allowance, but I want to check it first. Okay. It's looking pretty cool, man. Now, I think I'm going to need to hand stitch because I want this higher up. So I'm going to unpick this bottom seam and leave a little gap so I can just hand stitch this in because it's a little too dingly dangly. I want it tight dangly. You know what I mean. All right. I'm feeling good about where I'm at. The next step, which is sort of like an MC Escher 3D problem solving. I have done linings for bags before with a finished edge. Now what I could do is just sew the edges of this, stick it inside, and then have a raw edge. But I want a nice tidy edge to sew into my kiss clasp. That's a tongue twister kiss clasp. I'll work on it. So what I'm going to do is stitch around, leaving a gap. This fabric is the same on both sides, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to leave this right sides out, slip this in, stitch along this edge, turn it inside after I clip this curve, and then I'll have a nice clean edge for sewing into my kiss clasp. Now, that always sounds a lot more complicated than it ends up being. It's a thing I just have to do in real time, but we'll see how it goes. There's so much satisfaction in the amount of patience it's taken to get to this stage. This fabric I had to hunt down. And to find this really interesting cork faux leather with the rainbow bits was thrilling. And I found it on Etsy. I will link the shop in the description. I had to wait for that to arrive. I had to wait for this focal bead to arrive. I had to wait for these rhinestones to arrive. This is from Etsy. The tassels from Etsy. I'll link everything. And then I had to wait till I had it all together, then stitch it up, figure out the pattern, stitch it on. And once I finish today, all that will be left is attaching the strap to make it a crossbody. I wish I could have gotten this all locally, but we don't have a Joann Fabrics anymore. They went out of business. I grew up going to fabric stores with my mom, and sometimes you didn't know what you wanted to make until you perused, and maybe you found something that you didn't know existed. But fabric stores seem to be going extinct, at least where I live. So we have some specialty fabric stores. I don't really go to Hobby Lobby, and we have Michael's, and they don't specialize in fabric, so they don't have that much. So I really have to order from Etsy, etc., other websites, and then you have to wait for it to arrive. And then there's a lot of anticipation and buildup, and it takes a lot of patience. Anyway, it's been worth it. This is going the direction I wanted. I'm happy. Okay, I've made a packet. I've put my purse into its little lining sleeping bag. This feels treacherous, what I'm about to do. I just want you to know This might seem advanced if you sew anything or make anything. I don't know if it is. I'm moving through fear currently. It's vulnerable. And it'll be okay if I mess up. This is part of the creative process. We're experimenting. It's adventure. We're on a quest. Quests have danger. So I'm gonna boop, 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 stitch here and here. I've left myself, we'll see if it's a big enough opening here. So once this is sewn, curve, clipped, little V's cut out so that it can move a little bit and it's not too stiff, it lays properly. I'm gonna take this out and stitch this up and then put it back in the inside. I'll report back on how that goes. Wish me luck. Not to be dramatic, but I can't believe that turned out all right. Also, pretty ugly notch cutting. Real sewing people, look away. People who do high quality, that's fine. The moment of truth is upon us. Happen. Right, I'm removing through my little trap door. It's like a little shower cap on my purse. Oh God, I think it's going all right. This is fiddly. I'm gonna spare you and fiddle off camera. Also, I don't normally use paper cutting scissors. I have real snips, I do. Today, I just felt a little feral and that's what happened. Okay, stitched, inner lining, stitched. Now the most satisfying part. It's happening. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It looks like my inspo picture, except really far out. Oh. Also, who can tell my nails match? I told you, obsessed with iridescence. Obsessed. I feel good about it. I feel comfortable. I feel like it's a healthy obsession, and I'm not going to stop. Okay, now we get to try on the tongue twister kiss clasp, and then we're rounding the bend. Here she is. Of course, now I'm wondering, should I have added more gemstones? My husband Sean would say he's such a minimalist. If I ask his advice, he's always like, "What are you talking about? That's plenty." But you know what? I can do what I want. Who cares? I can make it max. I'm gonna max it out. Okay, here's my kiss clasp. Pretty nice. Feels sturdy. It has these little holes for stitching, which I'm pondering stitching a bead. I got two kinds. I got one that matches this brass tone and some iridescent blue. If you can tell, I did use a bead, a brass one here. Oh, look how iridescent my nails are. It's so beautiful. It's because I didn't want a black thread line right there. It's fine on here. This has a little divot for the thread, and I'm fine with that. I'm going to glue down this little frayed bit. Don't worry. Oh my gosh. It kind of looks like a puppet. All right. On to business. Oh, baby. That's gonna fit in just so. I did make measurements so that this would land right here. I really like how this filigree is pretty vintagey looking. Yet this is like an alien's purse. So I like that juxtaposition. I also like matte and shiny old, new / future. I think it looks cool. So I'm going to stitch this in. I might not do it today. I might have blown my wad, but it'll be soon. I'll report back. So excited. These are the beads I'm deciding between. I'm leaning. the bronzy color because I feel like there's already a lot going on. Look how restrained I am. There's already a lot going on, but it will be small. It'll just be boop, 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 boop. Ooh, tough call. I decided the beads weren't going to work and that it was just too difficult to sew with. So I'm debated between two different embroidery flosses, the metallic rainbow, which is notoriously difficult to work with, or this magenta fuchsia. And I went with the metallic because I like to make it hard. Beeswax really helped keep everything together, so it was much easier to thread my needle. I am glad I decided to use this embroidery floss. Even though it is hard to work with, it was worth it. I like how it looked. It felt sturdy, and I'm happy I made this choice instead of the beads. The beads were just almost impossible to sew through these little holes. I couldn't get my needle through them either. One side almost done. I'm loving how this metallic rainbow thread looks, but I'm going to be real. This stuff is hard to work with. Very fiddly. It helped to beeswax it because it helped it all stick together. But otherwise, it is very just frays easily, breaks easily. The beeswax made a huge difference, and I'd like to thank from Carly B. Fantastic channel on sewing. Who I learned that from, but I don't think she created it. I think she just reported it, and that's where I got the information for hand sewing. Also, look on this side, a little bit of a rainbow stitch. I don't love how it's a little lumpy at the top, but such is life. Oh my gosh, last stitch. Magical, wonderful, magical purse. I love you, it looks so amazing. Yes. I definitely think this is going to work for a night out when you don't want to carry that much stuff. I act like I go out a whole lot, but I don't go out terribly often, but more than I used to. Where it's been a while, partly because my child is a teenager now and I have a little more free time. And my husband has a lot of work events, and we also just like to go do fun stuff. And I spent a lot of years as a single mom just at my house. So I'm out in the world more, and I need an out in the world bag that's lightweight and cute and represents my style. Oh, look at it, glowing in the light. It's feeling good. Now, it's snug to stick my hand into, but I tested it with my phone and my wallet, and they just sit right in here, and I could just like pull it out. Oh, I have my little things in here. I'm really enjoying that sound. It's kind of ladylike. I just wanted it to be like a little side pouch. So I did limit the size so that it couldn't carry very much, because who doesn't love a big bag? You put all your stuff in there. For an evening out, or just when you just want a little decorative pouch, this is a good size, I think. Now, it's first time using a sew-on kiss clasp, and I do have other sizes, some smaller ones, so I might make more of these. I could make a little change purse with the small ones. I could make another one of these. They do come in bigger sizes. Some are like a square. There's a lot of options, actually, but I thought I would start with something kind of basic. I believe this is 5.5 inches ish, 4.5, somewhere in there. I don't know that in centimeters. I'll look it up. Yeah, it's feeling good. Now here's the bag that I already made that I haven't used in years. Also made out of faux leather. This one has an interior pocket. It's one of my business cards. And it definitely holds more. I might still use this some point. I feel like I've kind of outgrown it. So this is a similar vibe, but just more diminutive. About the same length. We just like took it down. Probably have it hang around the same spot once I get my strap. That'll be another problem to solve because some of it I've never done before. I'll show you. Don't worry. Okay, friends, it's a new day. I got my strap material in the mail and it's magical, beyond my wildest dreams. Let me walk you through what I did with it. Some experimenting had to occur, but I landed on a good solution and I'm excited to share it with you. We're almost there to Fancy Purse Town. Yeah. I'm very excited to announce the near completion of this project. Having a deadline was very useful, helpful, put a spring in my step, kicked it up a notch. I'm going out of town in a couple days for my birthday, and there's going to be a fancy dinner, and not the kind of fancy dinner you wear a fancy fanny pack to. So I needed my fancy purse. I planned my outfit around the purse so it can be highlighted. Now, I did start out with a chain, like a chain strap that was meant for a purse. I thought it'd be a simple fix, but often the simple one isn't the right one. And I like to complicate things, I guess. It also just didn't match the vibes, and it felt cold when I put it on. I didn't like how it felt. So I wanted something made of fibrous material and something that felt sturdy. So I found this gorgeous rainbow cord, but I had to figure out how to attach it to the purse, which took a little finagling, but I'm excited to show you my solution. And it also needed to be widened a bit. This is a little too skinny. So let me show you what I did. So here's an up close look at this metallic rainbow cord, which I'm sure I'll find more uses for. But look at it with this. Oh my God, they are meant to be together. Come on. That's magical. Whoa. So the experiments I did, now this phrase when you cut it, I just used a little lighter and melted it. I tried a 2-cord twist and decided this is a good width. I like the texture. I like how it looks. It felt a lot more sturdy. Now, how to attach. I've got one of these doodads that comes with the tiniest screws on earth. Like I would need an eyeglasses repair screwdriver. Of course, I'm dropping them. Let's see if I can focus on this micro dot. Look, oh my gosh, tiny. So that was a little stressful to think about. However, this is meant as a end cap for a purse, like leather or something of that ilk, where you can screw in and it's very sturdy. It won't pull out. I didn't love the chonkiness of this. I just didn't feel like it went with this really. It was like too something. But the alternative is just gluing into this little doodad, which is called a tassel cap. And it has an empty little hole and it's all one piece. But I was a little nervous. We're gonna see how it goes because I had to use trusty E6000 to put it in here. And here is my finished twist, perfectly measured, of course. Now I did get these like brass crimpy doodads because I put the loop in and I wanted to cover up the ends. And I like how it looks. Look at that. I'm going to attach it with some little jump rings. These guys. And then, friends, the purse is complete. I feel pretty pumped. I've been watching a lot of history documentaries about the Bronze Age and watching sci-fi, and it's merging in my brain, and this is what's happening. Here they are attached. I used 2 jump rings on each side for some extra sturdiness. Now, even though these are glued in, they feel pretty sturdy, and I glued them this morning. It hasn't even been a full 24 hours. I usually let E6000 dry for a while. I mean, it is a heavy-duty glue. I don't plan to put much heavy in here, so I think it's going to work. Oh, look at that. Oh. I'm very pleased with it. It's the fancy purse of my dreams. And thanks for watching along. Stay tuned for more videos on fun crafty projects and kooky shenanigans. And now without further ado, a fancy purse dance montage.